Shifting to a more positive note, New York Giants have been hustling and bustling this offseason. They have had an active offseason. They've signed Kenny Golladay, and they signed Kyle Rudolph, and now was just announced yesterday that they signed Adoree Jackson from the Titans, 3 years, $39 million. So this Giants team is absolutely stacked. So it poses the question, are they the best team in the NFC East right now, given where they're at, right? And this is a team, mind you, that finished second in the NFC East last year. They were 6-10, one game behind the Washington football team. It came down to the final game of the regular season. Last year, they beat the Cowboys, and then it was all on the Washington football team against the Philadelphia Eagles to see who would represent the NFC East. And obviously, they came up short. The Washington football team won. So this team should absolutely be the best team in the NFC East. Let's take a look one at a time at each one of these teams, right? Excuse me. And mind you, Giants started last year, their first 8 games, 1-for-7, finished the year 5-3. So this was an ascending team, a promising team that was starting to turn the corner, right? It was showing nascent signs of a future. The Washington football team, I love what they've done this offseason. Their additions have been great. Curtis Samuel is a great pickup. William Jackson III is a nice cornerback. And I like this team. They already had the number 2 rated defense last year. Their offense has improved. Here's the only problem. They signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, who I like, but he's 38 in his 17th season. And he's really a glorified backup. I apologize. I really like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but this is like hiring Mrs. Doubtfire to be your housemaid. Yeah, Robin Williams played the part really well, but it's a facade. We know he can't keep that up forever. And I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really do. But he has had a propensity and a proclivity to turn the ball over. That's what his track record says. Throughout his career, for his career, 223 touchdowns. Great stat over the course of his career. 169 interceptions. That's not good enough. So he's turnover prone. And what Washington needs is honestly someone like an Alex Smith, just a souped up version of Alex Smith, someone who does not turn the ball over, is a leader, can control the offense, can engineer drives, but doesn't give the ball away to the other team. And unfortunately, Ryan Fitzpatrick has had a history and a track record of doing that. Not to mention, as a starter, he's got a record of 59 wins, 86 losses, and one tie as a starter. As a starter, he doesn't have a winning record. And I'm sorry, I really like Ron Rivera. So the coaching's great. The offense has improved dramatically. You know, Terry McLaughlin and I apologize if I butchered his name. I believe that's his last name. Curtis Samuel. Then the defense is fantastic. I like the Washington football team. But I just don't think they should be better than the Giants. Then let's look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys happy for Dak Prescott that he got his money, happy that they signed him to that major contract, but their defense is still atrocious, and they haven't addressed those issues that they have. The production of Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence have regressed. They are not living up to the expensive contracts that they signed a couple years ago. This is not the same Dallas Cowboys team, and they have not addressed their biggest flaw, which is their defense. So even if you throw in Dak Prescott in there, I still don't know if that necessarily elevates the Cowboys above the New York Football Giants. And then the Philadelphia Eagles are a dumpster fire. Let's just say what it is. They're a dumpster fire. They traded away Wentz, which was fine, but they also had to jettison different players. And they are reeling in dead cap money right now. They've had to trade away their best offense and defensive players. Alshon Jeffrey's not there anymore. Zach Ertz wants out of there. And I like Jalen Hurts, and I see tremendous growth with him. And I do believe in Jalen Hurts. But I need to see more. Am I entirely convinced he's the quarterback of the future? And even if he is, I don't know what the pieces around him are going to be. So there are a lot of question marks in Philadelphia. And the most important thing is that their ownership And their owner, Jeffrey Lurie, and their front office aren't in sync. They're sending mixed messages, sending mixed signals. And that's not conducive for a well-run organization. That just isn't. So the only question mark with the New York Giants, because they should be the clear runaway favorite to win this division, is Daniel Jones, their quarterback. He's the biggest impediment potentially for them. Is he the real guy? Because what the Giants have done is they have positioned him and positioned themselves to fully test out and identify and determine whether Daniel Jones is in fact their future quarterback. Defense is set. They just re-signed Leonard Williams. They were a top 12 defense last year, and the only reason why they weren't rated higher is because their offense was so bad that it put their defense out on the field longer than it needed to. So defense is great. Coaching is great. I like Joe Judge a lot. I think he's cultivated a culture that's conducive to winning. The players have bought in. I think they finally got that right. Jason Garrett is a great offensive coordinator, so they have a top 5, top 10 offensive coordinator to help Daniel Jones. They've got an elite wide receiving core. They just signed Kenny Golladay. They've got Darius Slayton. They've got Sterling Shepard. They've got Evan Ingram. Saquon Barkley is going to be back and healthy, so the running back position is set. Daniel Jones, that's the question. That's the only question, and he kind of regressed last year. He threw for less passing yards despite playing one extra game this year than last year. He still turns the ball over too many times. He threw 10 interceptions to just 11 touchdowns this year. He fumbled it again 8 times this year, 12 times last year. So he has an issue holding on to the football. That's the biggest issue with Daniel Jones. If he's truly the guy, then they will see that this year. Because if he doesn't win the NFC East, that's a clear indicator to the New York Giants that we need to move on. They took him with the 6th overall pick in the 2019 draft 3 years ago. This is the year to show whether or not you are truly the guy.